continue. Strategies for the sanctity. Okay, so it's based on Pri Tzadik Erev Yom Kippurim 4. Okay. In a battle for supremacy of the spiritual, two strategies are available to man. Men may either practice abstinence, seeking to totally disseminate the innate desire for consumption, or he may seek to redirect his focus, that inclination, by the sublimating to its higher purpose. Okay, so let's read this paragraph again and try to understand. So one more time. In a battle for supremacy of the animal, of the spiritual, so as we said, it's a physical against spiritual, two strategies are available to man. So only two approaches. Which one? Men will either practice abstinence. So abstinence, as Mizrachi said, okay, so a person says it's very hard, right? It's very hard. So I'm not going to eat this. So basically, this person forbids himself or herself different foods, right? So some people trying to be holy, which is the wrong way to be holy. They say, I'm not going to eat meat. If you're not going to eat meat because of the health reason, or because you don't like meat, or because of this, because of that, it's one thing. But if you don't eat meat because you want to be holy, that's not the way to be holy. Okay. So one way is the abstinence. So he or she said, I'm not going to eat the food, period. Or I'm going to eat only oatmeal, right? Seeking totally to disseminate the innate desire for consumption. So a person like work on himself, and after some time, so he does not want to eat. I'm not sure how is it possible, but I guess it is possible. Or he may seek redirect the focus that inclination by sublimating it to the higher purpose. Or as we explained before, you can redirect, and you said, yes, I'm going to eat, but I'm going to eat for the purpose of serving my Creator. Continue. The Talmud Brachas 8b describe the halachic obligation to eat on the eve of Yom Kippur. He who eats on the 9th of Tishrei is considered to have fasted on the 9th and the 10th. Yom Kippur occurs on the 10th of Tishrei. The sages seem to infer that eating on the 9th is itself deemed as independent of Yom Kippur fast. Okay, as a Yom Kippur fast on 2 days of fasting. So we're going to explain what does it mean. Why would eating be considered more more sanctified than abstinence? Is not Yom Kippur the holiest day of the year? So let's try to understand. So Talmud actually said that we have to fast on the 9th and the 10th, right, on the 2 days. But they say, yeah, if you eat on the 9th, meaning before the Yom Kippur, it's like you fasted for 2 days. So how is it possible? You ate, you had a big meal, and now it's considered like you fasted, right? So the question is, the last question is, why would eating be considered more sanctified than abstinence? So person eats and it's like it's higher than fasting. How does that make sense? Is not Yom Kippur the holiest day of the year? The underlying idea is that everything God created has an integral role in a heavenly symphony. All of the creation sing to God, and man is a master of, and the man is master conductor. The non-eating on Yom Kippur is a risk-free. But the greater glory of HaShem is served on Erev Yom Kippur, when man eats in a sanctified mitzvah fashion. So it is actually a mitzvah to eat this meal on Yom Kippur. Rather than excluding consumption from the godly symphony, we set tone whereby food adds to the harmonious melody. So it's a little poetic, but it's very interesting, and we're going to explain what it says here. Very interesting. So one more time, the underlying idea is that everything God created has an integral role in a heavenly symphony, right? So everything, all of the food, all of our desires, so it's all created for a purpose, right? Continue. All of the creation sing to God, and man is a master conductor. So all of the creation sing to God, so including angels and the trees and all of the other creations, right? But man is a conductor, meaning that he has a free choice. So all other, like a tree cannot do whatever it wants, right? I can do whatever I want, right? Whatever I choose to do. Let's put it this way. But like animals, right? They cannot do whatever they want. They can only follow their instincts, right? So in some sense, the man is a master conductor. The not eating on Yom Kippur is a risk-free, right? So I mean, well, what are you going to lose? You don't eat, no problem. You're not going to transgress any law. But the greater glory of HaShem is served on Yom Kippur, when man eats in sanctified mitzvah fashion. So we eat and we do take this food and make something spiritual out of it, right? We're getting ready for the spiritual day. So I'm eating on Erev Yom Kippur in order to get strength. And if you see this Mahzor on Yom Kippur, so it's almost thicker as this book. It's very, like, I don't know how many pages, 300 pages, and sometimes it's extra and disputing and that, like 500 pages. That depends on the publisher and how much commentary it has inside. You understand? So to read all of this, and in many prayers you have to stand and you have to sing, and for men we have to go down on our knees, like that's we have to have a lot of energy, right? So we eat and elevate this food, rather than excluding consumption from the godly symphony. We set tone whereby food adds the harmonious melody. So right, so even food, very physical thing, we add to this symphony of what I'm looking for. So this symphony that we play for HaShem. Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, the redactor of the Mishnah, in the prototype, he is a prototype of the approach to life. On his own life, he said, "I have not delivered any pleasure in this world, never having tasted any delicacies." It says from Ksubas 104a. This is rather intriguing statement, considering the Talmud statement regarding the extreme wealth, that all seasonal foods were to be found in his table during both winter and summer. See Avodah Zarah 11a. This type of consumption, conspicuous consumption, would seem to be the antithesis of the Kedusha, and yet he is known for posterity as Rabbeinu HaKodesh, our holy Rabbi, due to the extreme piety and holiness. So let's try to. I'm going to summarize here because it's very simple. So we have this great Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. So he's the one who compiled the Mishnah. So Mishnah is our oral Torah. So oral Torah is a Mishnah. It's that all of the laws that we receive from Moshe Rabbeinu, and then Talmud goes on and elaborates on the Mishnah and says what exactly it says in the Mishnah. Okay, so he's the one. So meaning that he was so great, right? Of course, he had helpers, but he was so great, so he would be able to differentiate was it right, was it wrong, and put the whole oral Torah in one place, and of course in the structure, specific structure, right? And after, when he was dying, he raised his finger and said, "HaShem, I didn't enjoy this world. You know, HaShem, even for so much as my pinky, I think." Right, so, and it says, how is it possible? It says that he was one of the richest men who ever lived in Eretz Israel. right? So, and he had all of this seasonal foods always. So today, seasonal food, I mean, for us does not mean much, because if you live in a States or somewhere, right? So you have all of the foods all the time. So you go to winter, you go to buy strawberries, there's strawberries. I mean, maybe they're not as tasty, maybe not a little more expensive, but there are always strawberries, always raspberries and other things. Okay, but in their time, just to preserve and bring to a different country, it was a big deal. So it just shows you how rich he was. And even though he was rich, right, he's one of the few people who in the Torah is called HaKodesh, right, Kadosh, right, holy. Okay. Continue. Perhaps we need to free ourselves of foreign ideas and focus on a Torah definition of Kedusha in order to resolve the similar anomaly. So as we said before, it's not perhaps, but for sure we have to free ourselves of foreign ideas, right? As the world tell us how to live a life, right? And what is the purpose of life, right? And focus on of Torah definition of Kedusha. What Torah is called Kadosh, meaning holy, and what is not so Kadosh.